Yes, I did that right, and I held it full throttle. Here we go. Purple sectored one. Purpled sector one. Yeah, purpled sector one. Ooh, I might have got on the gas a bit early.
Oh, why can these cars not take hairpins? This is
I know, they never feel...
ridiculous.
They don't feel natural taking them.
I just lost 0.8 of a second, all because. Great, I gotta go for another lap.
Yeah, you gotta drive them so differently. Like they get really loose, so you have to really balance. Oh no, balance the steering.
No, like it just understeered straight off the track. Just did not turn.
I don't know if I'm gonna reach you though. Oh man, I'm so all over the place. I mean, it was so messy, but I gained so much time.
First sector was terrible.
Holy cow. So, wait, who did actually get the pole?
I don't know.
Oh, I did. Okay, wow. It is my wonderful helmet. If you like my helmet, like the video. Okay, yeah, never mind. It showed that he was the bullshit for whatever reason. They still haven't updated the Haas. Oh wait, yeah. Duh, because they haven't updated the Force India yet, so. Because they need the bigger number board thing. Yeah, they just need to update the cars. Yeah, I think what bothers me more is that Haas. Because that's still the 2016 design.
Well, yeah, it's the 2017 paint scheme, but it's what they ran from Australia to Spain.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised within like the next month or two. Because when was the update on F1 2016? Because I know that actually worked with
Day one
models. Oh, seriously? Like the Mercedes? That's what I'm saying. I don't.
No, that took a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think something like that's going to be the same for this because, along with paint schemes, a lot of teams upgraded. Like I said, the Force India added the T-wing. Williams, I think, now has a T. Is there a T-wing on that car?
No, this car has one. They've I don't know what they've done with this car.
They like added like 2 more T-wings, or made a bigger one.
Yeah, McLaren's made a lot of upgrades, and it's showing.
Right. Oh, for sure. I mean, Stoffel Van Dorn, holy cow.
Yeah, the engine still sucks, but the car itself,
pretty good. Yeah. Carlos Sainz is struggling. I mean, holy cow, his incident in Japan was...
yeah. First driver to crash in Japan since Danny Fiat.
Really? Oh, that was a long time.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, that was 2015. And also there, another random fact, there have been no crashes in the Grand Prix itself since Jules Bianchi, which is kind of creepy.
That is. Yeah. And they were so concerned that, oh, you got to add the halo and make everything safer. But it doesn't matter, it's lights out, and away we go for the first F1 2017 test. Thank you, David Croft, for your glorious intros, and the Force India is heading into turn number 1. And for people watching this video, yes, it is very boring. Sharknader's with us, but he's not in the party, so it's just the Matt and Lazy show. Well, talking, I should say.
Hey, the American Pit Lane podcast. No.
Yeah, the American Pit Lane. We gotta have an American Pit Lane podcast. No, for NASCAR. Yep, there we go. There we go. That's gonna be the new hit on my YouTube channel. The NASCAR Pit Lane podcast.
This thing is just understeering like a bus. Like, this is bad.
Wow, I'm surprised you said that. I might oversteers.
Oh, and I just cut that corner. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. The only thing we really have to test is just penalties, handling. I think we're just going to keep it the same rule package, like with these, allowing setups in our race weekend, but yeah. So equal car performance seems a little bit more important now. It doesn't really matter what car you're in, you're going to be. I mean, like I said, I'm like, I'm like a second ahead of you guys.
Oh, lag. Stop.
I'm probably coming from you.
Who's lagging? Is it me or is it Nitro?
I can hear your mic lagging.
That was so weird. Like, his car was just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It was like rubber banding.
Yeah, that happens when there's lag issues. It gets annoying. Like, it happens for me if I don't reset my internet. Like, I have to reset it in order for it to.
You won't pass me. I'm trying to let you go, dude.
You're just giving your.
I'm just driving awful right now. This is. So we're side by side. I tried to. Yeah, car will turn. Go ahead. Yeah, we were side by side. I was trying to brake early and undercut him, going into like turn 2, and then suddenly it just like started lagging a bunch. Yeah.
I wonder how much the engine. I think I'm gonna look at that the rest of the race, just see how much the engine wears out. Obviously, the internal combustion engine will be. No, it doesn't seem to. Well, I mean.
I wonder if there's like. Sorry, go on.
It said it does wear out, but it's over a long period of time. Just have to check that.
I wonder if for the different engines, there's like different things that wear out at different times. Wow, this car will not steer.
Like different teams having different wear factors.
Yeah, the different engines, I mean, so like, maybe Mercedes, and then they had a ERS problem recently, maybe that'll wear out more. Like, Ferrari will have a lot of turbo problems, Renault will have, I don't know, what problems do Renault really have? Aside from a lack of
crap,
horsepower.
I just spun out. Well, just lost talent there.
I feel like Renault really has any problems, to be honest.
Yeah, same with Ford. Whoa, yeah, I'm getting the same. I had this the other day. I just get loose, like, I get really tail happy. So, I don't know if that's just the tires wearing off, but I mean, it just, like, I mean, yeah, the rear end just went out on me twice.
Yeah, but when I said, like, I think of Rob Force India, I just mean, like, the, Mercedes, Ferrari, Renault, and Honda engine, not the team specifically. Yeah. Except for maybe Renault or Sauber, because one of them runs a year-old engine, so maybe they'll have a little bit different wear.
Yeah. Might not have this.
Of course.
Actually, they might not have as much issues because they're in an engine that's a year old, and it's not being upgraded. Usually engines that are like upgraded and constantly added to are gonna fail because they don't know if it's gonna work or not.
You're right.
So that's what I was saying. That's probably why we don't often, like, we often hear that Sauber, spit me out another team. Sauber's the only one I could think of. That might have issues occasionally, but not as often because it's, like I said, it's engines that they should know are good to go, just that, they're outdated a year. Oh my gosh, tail out.
Yeah. Like, yeah, like maybe Mercedes, Williams, and Force India probably have similar issues because they probably they get upgrades first, and then are there any other Mercedes teams actually?
And no, it's just the 3.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so probably like Mercedes probably have maybe a bit more like.
Oh yeah, that's
like
what
issues with like upgrades.
Yeah, like Haas.
But,
I forgot that because they have the Ferrari engine too. Yeah.
And yeah, like Ferrari and Haas will have, you know, like similar issues more frequently with like upgrades and power, whereas like Sauber won't. And of course, like with Renault, will have, you know, this problem. Red Bull will have that problem because they technically don't have the same engine, and I believe Red Bull has done their own things to the Renault engine. And then like Toro Rosso will have, I think, because they run a year-old engine, will have another whole set of problems. Now, that makes something interesting for F1 2018 actually, like team-specific engine wear.
Right.
And of course, anyone who runs a Honda engine, rest in peace you, no horsepower, no nothing.
Rest in peace Toro Rosso.
I mean, another team that makes great chassis but just don't have the engine. Like.
Oh great. Alright, it's time to get racy here. Should I protect my position? That's a little bit too early. Yeah, I'll just let him go.
Do it.
Oh,
do it.
He backed off. Okay. I wasn't too sure. I mean, technically you can really dive it in and get a lot of grip. I might have some lag issues too.
Maybe it's him that's having the lag issue.
Well, it's probably me, because usually I'll reset, and the F1 race I'm like kinda okay. Then I go to the Xbox One, and then when you hit like test, it will actually tell you if it thinks you have an issue, and almost every single time it says I have an issue with the connection, so I had to reset before we go to 360.
Yeah, typically these days I don't have issues anymore. It's just speed really fluctuates, that's about it. But a few days ago, my internet just randomly quit out for no reason. And it quit out, I think it was after Steel Race. It quit out maybe about an hour or two after, and then didn't come back till the next morning. So,
yeah, I had an issue like that like a few days that we had an issue that was like that was it was so bad that they actually no, when I hit next lap. Yep, hit windows open. Thank you, Jeff. Yeah, it was so bad it was out for like 2 days and whatnot, and they had to go like it was all their wires were underground in the one section of the city, and so they were actually like down in the manhole and fixing it. And it's like they had like 4 AT&T trucks lined up. It's like, yeah, you know, it's not just our issue, it's the whole block's issue. But yeah, like I think Karma's was out last week. It's either maintenance or, you know, an issue. I think if it goes out for half a day, it's probably maintenance. I couldn't imagine just like half an hour it being maintenance. So yeah, it all just depends.
So idiot me just spin the pit lane because I'm stupid.
Oh, good job. Good job.
Yeah. 2 weeks in a row.
Just purple.
Yeah, I forgot where the line was, and I came flying in.
Do you have the racing line on?
No, the pit line.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I know, but like if you have the racing line on, it will show your braking point going into the pits.
Yeah, but I wanted to see like what would happen if I hit the limiter and just let off the gas, and
yeah,
then
I won't do that.
yeah. So it's not like F1 2010. You actually still have to brake if you hit the limiter, because
yeah, you have to hit the
was.
limiter, slow down, and then speed back up and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because how ridiculous 2010 was is if you hit the limiter, you immediately drop 60 miles an hour. Just immediately.
Oh, here he comes. It's gonna be side by side coming out of the pits. Ish, kind of. Nope, I still came out of him.
Luckily, I only have a 5-second stop-go penalty. It's a lot better than a drive-through, but that's probably because you don't have penalties on like strict.
Yeah, no, and yeah, it like penalties are on, and then corner cutting is just regular. I think usually we just set it at corner cutting only penalties, but I forget what we have it on. I like some of the it changes every game or whatever, like what penalties do what can you enable, what can you disable.
What are penalties just off and on at it?
In this game, it's on corner cutting only and off. And F1 2016, I believe it's either on or off. And then you can, and then all the games have either strict or regular corner cutting. But yeah, this game has the option for all flag, or yeah, I don't know if it's flags and penalties is what it's called, but like it's either on corner cutting only or off. And I think in F1 2016, it's either just on or off. You couldn't choose.
Okay, because like usually you get a drive-through penalty for speeding, so that's weird. So I have to look into that.
And it probably changes. Yeah. Oh well, you are on the softs.
True, but still.
Yeah. Oh wow. Now we got a race. Oh, okay. I can power it.
Oh man, I just got my gravel.
He has the racing line. Okay, well he stayed up there. That's fine. He's gonna get more power on the outside there. Yeah, I like this because you can really push hard in the car, and then if you push too hard, you'll lose the car. You'll just like mess up your corners and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I really love it because you have that ability. You have the ability to like every lap. You have a chance to push harder and harder and harder, and once you reach that limit, your car just goes crazy, and then you're like, okay, now it's time to bring it back down. Hit that curve. Now hopefully.
I've massively screwed that up.
Very good. DRS. Trying to break the DRS. At least it's not crazy slipstream in DRS like it was in 2016.
Yeah, that's gonna be a problem for Spa in 2 weeks, because like the slipstream is great on the Kemmel Straight, but then like first of all, going up a Rouge, being behind someone,
Kind of.
no, you're gonna be sliding everywhere. Yeah.
You're gonna get insane
And then
amounts of speed.
And then going into like Calm, a lot of people are probably gonna like outbrake themselves and just go flying.
Yeah, it'll get really grouped up there, and we've had so many issues with that.
Oh yeah, that's a really competitive track too. I forgot about that. Just because of the slipstream throughout, I think what.
And I think because it has a huge, has a lot. Yeah, that's the thing. It has a lot of combinations of like flat out, but then there's a lot of like corners where people take them differently, and it's just whoever. It's usually different every time. Oh man, I'm all over the road. Quote Jeff Yaviano. I just spat out.
We gotta go Jeff plug in for today. We've already got our Erva one in.
Yeah, Erva. Jeff, now we need, who else?
David Land.
Yeah, David Land.
Just because I was watching him this morning.
What's going on, F1 2017 fans? David Land here.
What's up, guys? David Land here with another Project Car 2 gameplay.
What I like is that it seems like every YouTuber is, has their own thing. Like, even for me, I kind of have my own thing. Kind of not. It's kind of stupid, but it's still something. It's not.
Yeah. Thanks to like the Pittsburgh Steelers and their chant is "Here we go Steelers." Like, yeah, my thing would probably be like before everything I do, I'd say "Here we go."
Yeah. Oh man, I really went wide and around I go. It was about time.
Safety car.
Oh wow, and I'm okay. Oh no! Whoa! Oh, that was nasty. I had the same thing. I pushed it a little too hard, and then I got out of the groove, and then I just lost it. You have a penalty to serve still, or did you already?
It keeps telling me to pit. I'm gonna go until I like absolutely have to pit. Let's see here. 35%. It's probably not like 2 laps.
Oh yeah, that T-wing on that car.
Man, there's a lot of wings on this car. There's a T-wing, there's like a weird curvy beam wing, there's ones that stick out the cockpit. And still, this car lacks downforce.
I think it just has a ton of downforce, but then it's very easy to overuse it, I guess you can call it.
Well, I mean, still, 90% of the downforce in an F1 car comes from the front wing, so, yeah, it's all the difference. Yeah. This team's basically ran the same car design to an extent ever since, like, 2011.
Yeah.
No.
I feel faster than you.
Oh.
That's a terrible. You had enough room.
No, I was never gonna make that corner. It's, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, how am I? Oops. I'm running red from the past lap. That's not good.
That's fine. Come on. Whoa.
Just become Mac for a second. Oh, I hit the grass. Oh no.
Bye. What are track limits? And dive it in or not? Never mind. I just like got nowhere with that. Oh, thank you for letting me by. Oh, oh,
no,
contact! Rest in peace.
bombs
Oh,
are not
and
thinking this
around he goes. Derp, derpity, derp, derp, derp.
I tried the limit. Tried to see if I could do
Yeah,
dive
you
bomb.
pushed the limit.
Boy.
Alright, what are the chances
There's probably
of
some
catching
tracks
this
you
house?
can pull a dive bomb at, but not many.
Yeah.
This isn't like F1 2016.
How much we want to bet we're going to catch up that Stuart Haas F1 car? I wonder how many Americans call it the Stuart Haas F1 car. I mean, technically it is, but I mean, it's like, kind of not. I am
Nah,
like
not really. It's kind of like Kurt Busch's Cup car, you know.
Yeah.
It's a Haas car, but there's not really much story involved.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I hope Kurt returns to Stuart Haas next year, but it seems like, oh, okay, we didn't serve the stop and go penalty. Okay. You still hear me?
Yeah, I still hear you.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it all depends on, you know, if Kurt Busch returns or not. If what? Monster returns next year, which I don't understand why Monster wouldn't want to come back. You know, they've been in the sport since what, 2010, I believe, with Ricky Carmichael, and then, you know, they endorsed Kyle Busch. Well, both Bushes really, Kyle and Kurt. Kyle got NOS and Kurt got Monster in the end. They even, I think, had a brief endorsement with Ricky Stenhouse, actually. I think Ricky ran NASCAR.
Wasn't Robbie Gordon in the 7 Monster?
Oh yeah, Robbie
I
Gordon
feel like
brought
that's
Monster
what it
back in like
started.
2007.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Running on fuel.
Yeah.
Seems like
And Monster, they sponsor so many like extreme sports, like X Games, and like they endorse skateboarders, BMX guys, you know, rallycross drivers, Gymkhana, Jesus, Formula One. They've been Mercedes. secondary sponsors since 2010. There's Petronas and there's Monster. They've endorsed Lewis Hamilton. He has his own can, which I can't find anywhere. And yet they wouldn't return to NASCAR for what reason now? Aside from it's garbage.
Beats
like,
me.
the only foreseeable
business is a crazy world.
Yeah. The only foreseeable thing I could see is either A, they're dissatisfied with NASCAR, or B, it's losing money. Which I could see the losing money part. Well, I can see both sides really.
I mean, I think this year like last year really dipped down. This year has been a little bit of improvement with like attendance at the track and more involvement. Like I said, they started Trackside Live. That's really been a big help, I think, because that gets more fans kind of involved. You know, Ryan Blaney's podcast, I'm glad they were able to bring some type of podcast back with Chuck Bush, at least.
Dale Jr. has a podcast.
Yeah, Junior's podcast. He's always had it, but I feel like Ryan Blaney's kind of connects to more fans. I mean, hell, you got Brendan Poole, that's a vlogger on YouTube. People overlook that. He's a vlogger on YouTube, and he you know, he records his everyday life and you know what he does, and you know, very interesting stuff. So yeah, and yeah, like I said, along with Monster and all that stuff, I feel like this year's been more connected to the fans, and it's really grown.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like a lot of tracks too. I'm surprised. Wow, there's, you know, every seat's. I mean, yeah, it's a cup race, but like, wow, every seat's full except for Indianapolis. But
Bristol is always empty. These years.
Bristol seems empty. I mean,
Richmond's spring attendance was pretty. September 1 better, but the racing, oh my god, was garbage. Like, that's the next thing NASCAR needs to fix. Stage racing does not make it better, in my opinion. It makes some tracks better, like Talladega, Daytona,
just get rid of the whole like Bristol. Win in your end point. Like like I said, we'd have more true champions if we went off the old type of point system than we did with the win system. I mean, like I said, Formula 1 still uses it, and guess what? There's a heated battle right now.
IndyCar still uses it.
Yeah, there's a heated battle.
Every motorsport outside the United States uses it, except
WeatherTech. I said, like, I mean, yeah, right now there's a heated battle between Sebastian Vettel and Lewis Hamilton, just because of the Singapore incident, and they're still kind of falling behind after Malaysia. I mean, it's looking like Lewis Hamilton has the best position at this moment, but we're, what, like 5 more races to go? Anything can happen within those 5 races.
Yeah.
Anything could happen in Japan.
Yeah, remember what happened last year.
Exactly.
And remember all of Lewis' bad starts from last year? Like, what if that crept up again?
And it's the end of the race, and it will be the Haas of Sharkinator who goes on to win the F1 2017 Nitro Test. I just want to add something fancy there.
Yeah. NASCAR, the first
NASCAR
thing that started the death was just the chase. And it's all because they brought in Nextel, Sprint Nextel really. And they want something fresh, so they based it off dirt track racing, like systems that dirt track races use.
Terrible.
And they initially conceived it in 2000 because of Bobby Albani. You know, 2001, then Jeff Gordon won by like 3 races. Then 2002 they had a pretty decent championship going until Mark Martin had a steering column failure on the pace lap and took out Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah.
And it was all Tony Stewart for the rest of the season.
Wait, we're gonna get the podium. Oh, we're gonna get the podium again! Yay!
Oh, wow!
Congratulations!
Yay! I'd like to thank you.
This is pretty cool. We haven't had the podium since Well, 2015, but we never played that online.
Yeah, no.
So yeah, 2014.
It considers it as like a championship, so that I think that's why we had the podium, which is nice though. It's nice to have the podium back. Yeah, it's still the same animations, but who cares?
It's nice though.
Good
Yeah, it's a nice touch.